all, I'll just start off by saying I thought that this OTA that we had today was a good one. I thought there was a lot of energy. We've been talking a lot about finishing and pursuit on defense, finishing on offense, and I thought you saw that today. So that's a credit to the players. There was we had a good sunny day, and I thought we got a lot accomplished today. So it was good to see you guys out there. And now we'll get ready for tomorrow and prepare for next week as well. So with that, I'll go ahead and open to any questions.
We'll get things started with Brad Biggs.
Hey, Matt. Couldn't help but notice a bunch of defensive guys Matt spotted, at least while we were out there today. Did that catch you off guard at all? And have you met face-to-face with Eddie Goldman since the start of the offseason program? And if I could ask one final question, was that Daz Newsome who looked like he was in a sling, or someone was in a sling? I don't know if it was Daz or not.
Yeah. So three parts to that. So your first part, Brad, obviously I think everybody on this call, and including myself, is aware that this is voluntary. This is a voluntary camp. So with that said, I'm really appreciative of, all the guys that are here and that are out here doing their thing. But at the same time, we all do need to keep in mind that it is voluntary. The question in regards to Daz, that was Daz. Unfortunately, yesterday in practice, he had a ball that he went up to get, and he just landed hard on his shoulder. And so he ended up injuring his shoulder. So he'll be out for a little while. It's unfortunate, but the kid's tough as heck. Bounced right back up, and until we went in and looked at it, we saw that it wasn't too good. So, but he's been in good spirits. He was here this morning, and we'll put together a game plan moving forward. But that was Daz. And then what was your third one, Brad? You squeezed three in on me. Oh, Eddie Goldman. Yeah. So I was fortunate enough to talk to Eddie. I saw Eddie. It was awesome to see him. He was here in the facility. Looks really good, and he's the same old Eddie. So it was neat to see it. Definitely put a smile on my face.
Jeff Dickerson.
Hey, Matt, great to see you today.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing, man?
Wonderful. Hey, since the end of rookie minicamp, how have you seen Justin Fields go about the business of trying to acclimate himself to the team, to the offense, and to being an NFL quarterback? Yeah,
Jeff, he's done a really good job at just trying to digest everything that we're teaching this offense in particular right now. The one thing that you learn when you get with Justin is you really realize that, he does everything really well in a group setting. He listens, he observes Andy, Nick, Coach Flip, Bill Lazor, myself when we're in there. But also, too, I think you talk to these coaches and then myself as well included, when you're able to have one-on-one individual conversations with him. And sometimes those settings are a little easier and you can be a little bit more specific with him. You really see him open up. So it'll be cool to see him once he really starts understanding what we do here in this offense, to see him continue to just grow and open up and ask good questions, which he's done. And everything that we thought he was going to be when he got here, with just learning and being obsessed with doing everything that we teach him, and then being able to just kind of be himself out there in the field. He's really doing things in a really good way. And then I also want to credit Andy and Nick in those meeting rooms. It's really neat to see the way that they treat him, the way they help him, and vice versa. So I wish you all could be in there to see it. It's just the start right now. But I think for all of us that they're certainly all growing. Same with Andy, is his first time going through this offense.
Dean Weeder.
Matt, in regards to Andy, in terms of the stuff that he can get done on the field in the month of June, what do you hope that he can accomplish here in this stretch that gives him a little bit more comfort when you guys finally return for training camp?
Yeah. So for Andy, I would say the biggest thing is being able to learn who his teammates are and understand they're all a little bit different, what their strengths and weaknesses are. Learn who his coaches are with us. He obviously has a great relationship with Bill Lazor, and for us to be able to see, okay, what does Andy do well? We're starting to see that already now that we're out on the grass. You can see this kid. When I say kid, Andy, he is doing a great job of making anticipatory throws. throwing the ball early. If there's one thing that these wide receivers are going to come out of this OTAs from, and obviously from training camp too, they're going to see that when that ball is supposed to be there, that ball is going to be there. So they better get ready to put their hands up to catch it. You better be at the right spot, the right depth, and be doing your route adjustments accordingly. And I think it really is impressive with how much he's digested this playbook already, and now he's doing it with these players. So every rep we get for those guys is just valuable.
Pat Finley.
Hey, Matt, you mentioned Nick in meetings.
So Brad's question about the defensive guys here. Oh,
Go ahead, Pat.
Matt, you mentioned Nick in meetings. We didn't see him out there on the grass. I'm curious if you could offer any clarity on that, especially, you guys talked all last year about how, he may have gotten off to a slow start because there was no off-season program, and now he had a voluntary one, and we didn't see him there.
Yeah, no, with Nick's been here every day. He's been here the whole time. He has a personal deal that he's working with right now. So his is, it's all voluntary, but just so everyone is aware, he's been here every day. He's just dealing with some personal things right now, and he wasn't here.
What is your vision for him this season?
Yeah, well, for all of us to understand that for each one of those guys to be the best that they can be. And I think I've talked to all three of them. And as we go into these practices, as we go into training camp, knowing how valuable it is for Justin to get his reps, and then Andy, obviously, to get his reps too. Nick and I have talked, and he understands that going into this, that Justin's going to get the 2 reps and then Nick's going to get the 3 reps. And Nick is a true pro and understands it, is still very competitive. And that's why I say, like, in all these meetings, it's just really special to see how they're trying to help Justin out and teach him how to play quarterback and how to watch film and study this offense, but also Justin helping them too with what he sees. So it's been really good.
Adam Johns.
Hey, Matt, when you're missing that many defensive players, again, I know we talked about it a little bit ago, how did that maybe adjust Sean's plans a little bit in terms of what he's looking for, in terms of enhancing different competitions, maybe specifically a defensive back with Bildor and Shelley? And then the second part of that, again, with all those guys missing, how much do you guys lean on Roquan Smith to be that leader, to be vocal, to be a lot of things with all those guys gone?
Yeah, I would just say, I'll start off with Roquan. The way that he has grown into the player and person, to me, is it's super special. They don't make many players like Roquan Smith. I'll just tell you that right now. They just don't. And we are so lucky to have him as one of the main leaders of this defense. And for him to come in here and just kind of every day just do his thing and just run around and fly around and help teach these younger guys, that's really, really neat. And so we appreciate that, and he knows that. And for Sean, for Coach Desai, for him, we can only control what we can control with who's here because it being voluntary. So the guys that are here, what an awesome opportunity for them to be able to come in here and get great, valuable reps. Last year, as you all know, we're sitting in just like we're doing right now, and we're teaching football over Zoom. And I love Zoom, but I'm done with Zoom. So for everybody to be out here and just getting individual drills and working on the grass and building relationships, like being able to be face-to-face, take these masks off eventually and talk to each other and build relationships. That's what we're doing right now. For a first-year coordinator like Sean that's known a lot of these guys, he doesn't know them or they don't know him as the defensive coordinator. So we have a plan of how we make sure that with the numbers that we have, that we're not beating them down, that we take good care of them, that we're smart with their health, but yet they're also learning. And Sean and this defensive coaching staff have hit the ground running. I love the way they act with each other, with the players. And I just think you see it and feel it even with the young guys that we have out there. But what a great opportunity for those that are here.
Mark Potash.
Hey, Matt, these are voluntary practices, but frankly, they've been voluntary for years, and you've had 99.9% attendance. So just curious how problematic that is for you to not have your virtually entire defense, because I know you don't want to antagonize your starters, but on the other hand, I imagine there's disappointment that they're not getting the practice that they need with a new coordinator. And also, what's the impact in general? If they're going to miss these next 2 weeks, what's the impact on your defense to not have virtually your starting defense at these OTAs?
I would say a few things. They have been voluntary, like you said, every year. And I think we could probably all agree that this year, for a lot of different reasons, is a little different, not just with Chicago Bears, but with a lot of teams across the league. I think there's a lot of different levels of where teams are at right now for different reasons. That said, I also want to make it loud and clear that, the on the field stuff that you're seeing is one part of it. And then in the classroom is the other part. And we have, all of those guys that you're not seeing here physically, they're all here in meetings, and they're meeting, and they're a part of everything. And they have phenomenal attitudes. It's those relationships that are being built over Zoom right now are still going strong. And I appreciate that from those guys, because again, even that part is voluntary, but those guys, they're a part of all these meetings, and they're getting everything that Sean and these coaches are teaching. They just are not out here for the physical part.
Thank you.
Yep.
Stacey Dales.
Hey, Coach Nagy, great to see you.
Good to see
My
you.
question, what are your thoughts on starting a rookie tackle in the National Football League, specifically with Tevin? What do you need to see from this offensive line? Because it does look different. And then I'm just curious about the different leadership that you've seen from both already with Andy and Justin, and how they're juxtaposing each other, because they're obviously different players.
Yeah, they are. So the offensive line does look a little different in certain areas. One of the things that we're trying to do right now is just create as much competition as we can, really at every position. I think y'all see it, and you saw it too with some of the draft picks this year that we had. But having that competition is just going to help make us better. And when you bring a guy in like Elijah Wilkinson, and obviously bringing back a Fetty, and you have the rookies that we brought in, and you have Alex Bars, and so I mean the list goes on and on. What Juan is doing right now is making sure that all these guys understand we're doing it for one cause, and that's to be the best O-line, right? Not the best O-line men, but the best group together as one. And just to give you a little story, I have to share this with you. I think I haven't seen this a whole lot, but a few days ago I was in my office and I was looking out before practice, before the walkthrough, and I looked out onto the practice field, and as guys are walking across from one field to the next, about half a mile or whatever, half a mile away, I see about 16 linemen standing out right outside of my window, and they're not moving. I'm like, what are these guys doing? And they're not moving. They're not going anywhere. And all of a sudden I see a guy trickle out from the door to come with them and walk over to the walkthrough. It's the first time I've ever seen that. You got 17, 18 O linemen that are doing this as one. They're not leaving their guy behind. They all go over and they do everything together. And so when they're in the weight room lifting together, when they're walking over to practice, when it's post practice, I've never seen that ever. And that to me is special. I think it starts with what Juan and Donnie are doing. And so I go back to like those rookies you asked about and how they're learning. It's going to take a little bit of time. And what's hard with O linemen is we have no pads right now, so there's so many rules that you can't do this, can't do that, that once we get to training camp is going to be the true test to see really where they're at. But they've been doing great, the young guys, Tevin and Larry. And so that's that part. As far as the quarterbacks, Andy and Justin and Nick, again, I've lived it. I've been a part of it in the meetings and the practice field with how it goes, the dynamics, and it's very natural. Those guys have each other's backs, and so now I think what we're seeing is you see a guy right now in practice with Andy that he's been doing this for 9 or 10 years. And so when he calls a play and he sees a short motion coming in and the guy's going to quick tick and then hit it on a shallow cross, he times it up just right. Well, Justin's never done that before. This is the first time he's doing that. And so when he brings a guy in short motion and quick ticks it and hits it on the run, the timing might be a little bit off. And so like Justin just needs more reps to get well, Andy's done that for 9 years. So Andy's seen rotation. He's seen post snap stuff. And I think that like football wise, they're growing at really good paces right now, but they're also helping each other out, which is going to make us better. And now we're just trying to teach this offense to all the rest of the guys as well.
Thank
All right,
you.
we got time for 2 more quick ones. We'll go Jason Leisure, and we'll close out with Joe Lewis. Jason?
Hey, Matt, 2 quick questions for you. One, just to clarify, did Foles practice yesterday?
Did Foles? No, Foles has been out for, I think, if I go back and think right, he missed 1 day of last week is what I think he missed with the and there might be a couple more days here where I'm not expecting him back tomorrow. It might be next week when he shows back up just with that. So
You said something interesting about Dalton, about his throws. You guys know it will be there. And I wonder what that reliability does for you when it comes to sketching out this offense and then calling plays when you know that's what you're going to get.
Yeah, no, it's real. I think so. It goes back to the comment of when a quarterback plays this game and he already knows what the defense is doing, he can play faster than others. And Andy has a ton of experience in this game. And I hope we all understand what that means. And for a vet versus a young guy. And so what he can do is you get a guy like that with Andy that can help Justin too and explain to him why he was early, meaning Andy, on a throw. Like for instance, all go special, 4 verts, right? And you got to cover 3 safety, 1 high safety over the top. And you got a nickel defender playing the flat, and you know that, and you see it, and you understand it. You already know you're going to look the safety off and throw it to the seam up the middle, or up the numbers. He knows that. Well, you know, he's throwing that early, and if those guys don't get to that spot and cover 3, and they're not looking for the football, they're going to get hit in the head. And so he's throwing them open, whereas some other guys might not have that right away until they get more reps. And I think just experience, starter experience that Andy has, is a big part of this and what he's doing. And then you see it out here on the field. So for us, it's teaching. We have a lot of young wide receivers. And so they're seeing that if you don't get your tail to that spot, he's going to throw the football. And if you're not there and it's an incompletion and it's your fault, then we got to figure out, you know, are we going to keep letting that happen or are we going to get somebody else? And that's what I think is neat to see. And Andy, he's got red hair too. So he's got that fire, you know, he's like, so he'll get pissed now and tell you if you do something wrong, he's going to tell you. I kind of like that.
All right, one last one from Joe Lewis.
Yeah, Matt, in regards to Justin needing more reps, and in addition to what you just spoke about, Andy, how has Justin's mentality been, let's say he has missed a pass or he has upset with one? How has his response been, at least in your perspective, when that's happened?
It's been good. Now, it hasn't happened a lot because we're only a few days in with going against the defense. So a lot of this has been on air. So being able to see it now, he's extremely, extremely calm, which I love. So when something bad happens and the next play, it doesn't matter to him because he's so calm and he has confidence in himself. When something good happens, he reacts the same. And that part that's a good trait to have because you can never get too high and you can never get too low. That's why he's had the success he's had. You talk about the games that he played last year, the struggles that they had against Northwestern and Indiana. And, you know, but yet he also comes back in a lot of those plays and steps up and makes plays, or the next game has a great game. And so it's in his DNA. He's wired the right way. And that's what I love about him. And all Justin wants to do right now is football. That's all he cares about. He just wants to be the best quarterback he can possibly be. He wants us to be able to teach him everything we can teach him. He wants to be able to learn from Andy. Coach Flip and Coach Laser are doing a phenomenal job right now, man. You want to talk about obsessed and passionate about helping these quarterbacks out. So it's neat to see. You feel it, and we just got to keep that going. And again, work to that plan that we talked about with all those quarterbacks, and then just let these guys grow at their own pace, and then let us be able to evaluate them.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Okay. All right. Take care, guys.
Andy, how you doing?
Doing well.
What do you hope to accomplish between now and week 1 to get yourself acclimated and up to speed with this offense?
Yeah, I think right now it's just building chemistry with our guys. You know, first time being around everybody. For them, hearing my cadence, making sure we're communicating well, and just kind of getting a feel for how our skill position players are running routes and everything. So right now it's just building that chemistry and just getting used to everybody. I've really enjoyed getting to be here the last couple of weeks and kind of building on what we've been doing.
Jason Leisure.
Andy, what was the experience like for you to see them draft a quarterback in the first round? You know now he'll be the long-term priority when they do that. Did you see that coming at all? And how do you feel about it now?
Yeah, I've had a lot of different conversations with everybody here. I knew there was a possibility of it. And so, you know, when it happened, you know, it is what it is. And so, Justin's a great guy, getting to know him in the last couple of weeks and getting to be around him. And, you know, he's going to make the quarterback room better.
Adam Johns.
Hey, Andy, I was hoping if you could elaborate a little bit more on that. Is Justin the type of guy who asks a lot of questions on and off the field? What are those Zoom meetings like? Are you guys starting to hang out off it a little bit? How much is he starting to lean on you for information?
Yeah, I think right now for him, I mean, it's all new, his first time getting an NFL offense. So I'm trying to give him any advice that I can on certain things, how I would view certain plays, or you know, what I do with my eyes on certain things. So just different things that come with the experience. You know, obviously I've been going into year 11. I've had a lot of ball, and so I think for me, I'm just trying to help him out as much as I can.
I'm curious, how much do you enjoy that, being a mentor, you know, for a younger guy? I mean, do you like being that sounding board?
Absolutely. I think, you know, that's, you know, just the position I'm in, and what everybody should enjoy. You know, all our experiences in our life aren't for us, they're for other people. So you're trying to pass that along.
Habarkish.
Andy, I'm curious, you know, obviously you're with a new team, you're the new starting quarterback, you need all the work you can get. It's clear why you're out there. And we know that these OTAs are voluntary. And we know what's kind of going on between the players and the owners right now, but have never seen this many of the veteran Bears not participate. What is the atmosphere out there? How much work are you able to get done with so many of the key guys not there?
Yeah, we're still able to get a lot of good work, you know, and you know, we can't worry about the guys that aren't here. We just got to focus on the guys that are here and getting better. And, you know, that's all that our mindset is. That's all our focus is regardless who's here, who's not here, this is what we're going to be doing. These are the plays that we're going to run, and we're going to be moving forward. And it's been a good couple days of practices since we started these OTAs, and, you know, we've got a couple more of them. But I feel like we've gotten better in the last couple of days.
Do you have any sense as a veteran leader yourself? I mean, obviously this is very different, and I know we're coming out of the pandemic, but why do you think the players are choosing not to participate this year in so much greater numbers than they ever have before?
I think there's a lot of different reasons. I mean, you can throw the pandemic still in it with COVID and everything going on. But everybody has to make a decision what's best for them and what's best for their family and what's best for their career. So now I think at the end of the day, that's what guys are doing.
Thanks.
Joe Lewis.
Yeah, and in regards to the young players that you all have on offense, what has been your takeaway or your impression of them?
Yeah, you know, especially from a skill position standpoint, we've got some young guys that have a ton of talent. And so, like I was saying earlier, right now it's building chemistry with them, making sure that we're on the same page, making sure they're running routes how we're expecting them to run routes, making sure we're seeing things the same way. And I've been very impressed so far. And I think the chemistry that we've been building is going to help us once the season gets going.
Mark Grody.
Hey, Andy, your head coach, Matt Nagy, was kind of having fun with the fiery redhead thing and saying that you got a pretty big voice out there and don't underestimate that. How does that fire manifest itself with you?
Well, I think it comes with experience and, understanding how things should look. And so, I think playing the position of quarterback, you're obviously going to have a voice, but then you throw the experience and you know, how long I've been doing this into the mix too. And, you know, I think you're in that leadership position and you want to make sure things are going the right way. And so I'm sure that's what he's alluding to with the fiery redhead comments. But, you know, I'm trying to do everything I can to make us the best team that we will be come the fall.
Pat Finley.
Hey, Andy, how are you?
Doing well. How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm good. How would you characterize the vibe of the room, not only with Justin but with Nick, and how has Nick used his experience to try to help Justin as well?
We've got a great room. I think that's one thing that's been cool. You know, for me, obviously, I didn't know Justin before this. I knew Nick a little bit coming into this with two guys from Texas. You know, I knew who he was in high school, all that kind of stuff, and so it's been fun for me to get to be around him. I've followed his career from afar and have talked some, but to finally get to be in the same room has been great. But I think it's a great room. Nick and I both are trying to share our experiences with Justin, and just like I said, just trying to help him in any way.
Dane Weeder.
Andy, when you had a clearer picture after the draft about what this situation was and had become, I'm curious what you did mentally to sort of get yourself in a mindset to maximize the opportunity that you do have here going forward.
I knew the situation I was going into, regardless if they drafted somebody or they didn't. I was on a 1-year deal and I was going to be the starter. So my mindset didn't have to change. I already knew that I'm going to do everything I can to be the best player I can for this team and to help us win a lot of football games. And that's been my goal from the very beginning. And so whatever happens after this year happens, but my mindset didn't change just because they drafted Justin.
On a micro level, here in the month of June in OTAs and minicamp, what can you specifically pull out of this month that will increase your comfort when you hit the field in training camp that you can kind of draw out of this little stretch of OTAs and minicamp?
Yeah, I think it's just being around everybody and getting to be in the huddle, call plays, see how guys communicate, see how we're handling things up front, making sure everybody's on the same page you know, out wide and in the skill position group, and stuff that if I would have gone right into training camp, we didn't have any practices. I would have been starting from the beginning a lot later in the process. So I think this time of year, these last couple of weeks, and then the next couple that we've got going forward are going to be big, just with building that chemistry with everybody.
All right, we got time for 2 more. We're going to go Jason Leisure and Alex Shapiro to close it out. Jason?
Andy, just a logistical question. When did you start working on learning this offense, and what did you do before you got on the field over, I guess I'm going to assume, the past couple months to do that?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I signed here, I was already starting to learn the offense. And so fortunately been around. I think this is 7th coordinator out of my 11 years. So I know how to adjust to a new offense and everything. So just right from the beginning, I was trying to make sure that I was on the same page, just making sure that if I had any questions to reach out. And so when we got to this time of year, that I wasn't having to get some questions answered and see how things were going. So, you know, I've been in this, I've been trying to learn, and I feel really comfortable with everything that we've done so far.
Alex?
Hey, Andy, as you have learned the offense, what have been your first impressions of learning the offense? And then getting back to work with Bill Lazor, has that been familiar, kind of like the old days, or is it a little different now that you guys are farther down the road?
No, it's been great being back with Bill. And, you know, that's a big reason why I wanted to be here, because of Bill and just the experiences that we've had together. It's been fun to see Matt install the plays and just to hear the way that he's going about talking about every read that we have, every progression. This is why we're calling, this is what we're doing, and just his teaching. I think that's what this time of year is for the teaching. And you know, Matt's done a great job. All these coaches are doing an awesome job of getting everybody to be on the same page, making sure they're not thinking so much when they're out there, and teaching why we're doing certain things. And so that's been great. And so, you know, I think we got to take advantage of this time of year.
All right. Thank you, Andy. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Talk to y'all soon.
It's the freshest radio show in town. Feeling marvelous, I've been with Jerry Rouse. It's the freshest radio show in town. Feeling marvelous, I've been with Jerry Rouse. WCPT. WCPT.
This the coldest sports show. You were getting the hour from 6 p.m. to 7. Chillin' with Lauren Cox and the man Marvelous. Shout out to Mr. Rouse and the Italian style. You what sports is the only politic.
WCPT. WCPT. It's the freshest radio show in town. Feeling marvelous, I've been with Jerry Rouse. It's the freshest radio show in town. Feeling marvelous, I've been with Jerry Rouse.
That ball hit hard, deep, way back. He looks up, you can put it on the board. Yes, yes. Call your sons, call your daughters, call your friends, call your neighbors.
Ladies and gentlemen, guess who's back? Back again. Jerry's back. Tell a friend. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Rewind Sports 60. We're streaming live on Facebook, broadcasting from the illustrious studios of WCPT 820 AM in the beautiful, beautiful city of Chicago, in the outstanding neighborhood on the north side of the city, Jefferson Park. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another edition of the Rewind Sports 60. And let's get to our esteemed panel. Ladies and gentlemen, you love him. He's not over at Wrigley Field amongst the 24,824 screaming fans at the friendly confines to witness a Cubs beat down by the Cincinnati Reds of a score of 5-1. He's not over at the U.S. Cellular, the home of the Southside White Sox, who continues to put the pedal to the metal. They knocked off the O's by a final score of 3-1. Ladies and gentlemen, he's not over at Wintrust Arena to watch Candace Parker ride the Oak and the Chicago Sky or the Chicago DePaul Blue Demons. Ladies and gentlemen, he's in the studios of WCPT 820 AM. He is known as the Marvelous One. He's Dan Marvel. What's up, Marvel? How are you?
Jerry, good to see you again. Simon says masks down. You know, it's interesting. We missed you the last couple of weeks, and again, our deepest sympathies for your loss.
Thank you.
We mentioned that in the air a couple of times for your brother. But, you know, I wasn't a guaranteed rate field, but I'll tell you what, Wrigley Field, they each had a home game. Last week, they were both on the road on Sundays, we mentioned on the air last week. And this week, they're both home. And the fans are coming back, and that's good news and bad news. It's good news because it's nice to have fans in the stands, and bad news, as we may cover later, that people are throwing objects and insults at the players.
Yeah.
So that's not good. But but it's great to see the fans. I mean, the bleachers at Wrigley look like they were completely full. In the other sections, there was some spacing, but they must have like vaccinated areas in certain sections because they're jam-packed side by side. And Indianapolis 500 today, I mean, it was shoulder to shoulder, and the Boston Celtics have a full house tonight. So things are looking up, and fan-wise, hopefully we'll be able to go forward without any more problems with the dreaded disease.
Yeah, we'll get an opportunity to talk some NBA basketball. We'll also get an opportunity to talk some Cubs baseball, White Sox baseball. Paul Shivari, our in-house podcast. I don't have his podcast name, but he is the host, and he will certainly be joining us to talk some baseball. My apologies, Paul Shivari. Baseball Weekend Journal. Thank you, Devin Tingle. Baseball Weekly Journal. He is the host of Paul Shivari. He was sitting in. I want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you guys, for everyone, for the kind words and the thoughts and prayers. It's been a challenging, very challenging 3 weeks for yours truly. And as the Marvelous mentioned, unfortunately, I lost my brother on Mother's Day, as a matter of fact, at the age of 63 after a long battle. He had some things going on, and unfortunately, it took him from us. And it's been a really trying time and a difficult time, but as they say, life goes on. But I really appreciate you, Marvelous, for holding down the fort. Thank you so very much. Of course, Devin Tingle and Paul Shivari, and of course, our fearless leader. I love the guys here at Matt Cummings, and of course, the general manager, Mark Pensky, for the patience, the prayers, the understanding, and just working with me through this most difficult time. No question about it. I appreciate the kind thoughts and words from our on-air staff as well. Santita Jackson in the mornings, Monday through Friday. God bless her. Thank you so very much. And of course, the beautiful, lovely, talented, and outstanding Joan Esposito, who holds down the fort during the afternoon broadcast Monday through Friday here, 2 to 5 at WCPT 8:20 a.m. I greatly appreciate the family here for all of the support, and all of you out there who I can go on and on and on, but I just really appreciate all the support from many of you for keeping me going and lifting up my spirits, and just trying to keep me on point. And it just really meant a lot, and I do appreciate it. And we just continue to move on. But thank you so very much. I thought you guys did a great job on the show.
It's hard, when we're without our leader.
Well, you guys learn well, and you're smart cookies, and you guys held down the fort. And it was entertaining from the shows that I was able to listen to and take in. So it was fun, and who knows what happens? The future is bright for all of you guys. But thank you so very much. There's so much in the world of sports that I've missed and haven't had an opportunity to touch on and talk about. And we're certainly going to do as much as we can. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is the fastest hour in sports conversation here in the great city of Chicago. Our number here is 773-763-9278, 773-763-WCPT, the Rewind Sports 60, 820 a.m. Interesting thing, Marvelous. Yeah. You are a basketball guru. You focus definitely on high school sports here locally, and of course the collegiate level. And your favorite team, I believe, are the DePaul Blue Demons, because you're a season ticket holder.
Used to be.
Yeah, and it's just a roller coaster affair when you talk about college basketball and the DePaul Blue Demons. Who knows what direction they're going in? They seem to not know what direction they're going in. But as far as the NBA is concerned, the playoffs are underway, and you touched on it. The fact that it seems that the finish line is in view now, and you can see the light at the end of the tunnel regarding this pandemic and the virus. And of course, we're steadily, slowly but surely moving toward complete, everything being open, no mask and all that stuff. And congratulations to the Biden administration for encouraging all of the Americans, all of us Americans in this country to get vaccinated. And of course, the goal July 4th. We want to get, how many, Marvel?
70%, I think.
70% of the people in this great country to get vaccinated. And ladies and gentlemen, you're certainly listening. But, with that being said, fans, and of course at Wrigley Field, the friendly confines, this afternoon on Sunday, the Cincinnati Reds, the Chicago Cubs, they fall 5-1 in their 6-game winning streak, 8 of 9, 12 of 15. They've been playing some fabulous baseball, but they had 24,824 fans in the friendly confines.
Yeah.
And of course, the NBA, they've opened up the doors and they're letting fans in. But as you touched on, Marvelous, one thing I want to certainly jump into is the fact that with fans coming back to the sporting events, and it's great because these players, that they've missed the fans screaming, home court advantage or whatever the case may be. But it's kind of sad, scary, and disappointing of the news stories that have come out regarding fans attending NBA basketball games during the playoffs. But before I say that, I want to say this as well. As far as the Chicago Bulls are concerned, Marvelous.
Yep.
I'm here to say.
Yes. Tell us.
Listen, I'm here to say the Bulls, they got a curse. There's a curse. The Jordan curse. It's a curse. Marvelous. The games that I've been able to try to to tune into and take a look at, I'm going around and I'm like, how many former Bull players are in the playoffs right now? I mean, Derrick Rose, they're on the brink of elimination, I think, New York. But the fact that Derrick Rose, Taj Gibson, I mean, Daniel Gafford, yeah, of course, the kid at Jimmy Butler in Miami. I mean, how many former Bulls players are in the NBA playoffs right now?
Well, the Butler, at the time he was moved, I thought that was kind of sad, but the others, I mean, it seemed like Derrick Rose's career was over. I mean, he basically after his injuries, but that's sort of unbelievable that he's performing at the level he is again now. But I don't know. It's I don't know if it's a curse or it's just that maybe if you looked at other teams, maybe they have a lot of players that have left the team and gone to others. I didn't do that research, but there sure are a lot of ex-Bulls in the playoffs. You're right.
I mean, that's my point. I'm sure, of course, there are players who have left all the teams, and but the fact that the Bulls have so many, again, and you talked about Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose, and I love him, and I'm happy for him. But Derrick Rose, he was literally, folks, on his last leg. He was literally, I'm scratching my head.
And figuratively.
Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. How many former Bulls players are in the NBA playoffs right now? And our guys are still sitting home. Now, Billy Donovan, that's a great acquisition. I think his coaching staff, I think his philosophy, I think his mindset, what they're trying to build there. It's a foundation, and it was a stumbling block for sure this past season. And I think there are brighter days on the horizon as far as this Bulls team is concerned and the organization, the direction they're going in. But for a Bulls fan, it was kind of difficult. It's kind of difficult to watch these playoffs, and you see all the former Bull players. I'm like, wait a minute, what the heck is going on here?
Well, they are trying to build. I thought the Vucevic acquisition was great, but they really weren't able to gel. It took a while because they weren't familiar with each other, obviously. And of course, Levine, I mean, he was out, he was ill for a while. So, I mean, they have the other pieces, that might that work out if Markkanen stays with the team, and they have others, Daniel Tice and some others. But I think they have the pieces to at least make the playoffs. They got close with the expanded playoffs this year, I don't think they're going to be championship caliber, but it'd be nice to at least get in the playoffs again, like the old days.
Yeah, I think that they're it's on the horizon. It's in the the light at the end of the tunnel, is they say, but it's just hard as a Bulls fan. And of course, the drought that we've experienced in this city regarding NBA basketball, it's just very difficult to see these players. Tom Thibodeau is coaching the New York Knicks in the playoffs. It's just very difficult. And this is the time of year, if you've grown up in this city, and of course, during the 90s, during the Jordan, years, I mean, this is the time of year that we start, rolling up our sleeves and say, okay, let's go. It's showtime.
I remember particularly the good old days where they'd have to switch from the ice to the basketball court all the way into June. And right now, if you look at it, I actually did the research. Only Boston and Denver have both of their NHL and NBA teams alive right now. So those are the two cities that are enjoying the full effects of playoff time.
Yeah, but here's the disappointing thing, Marvelous. He's Dan Marver, the Marvelous One. I'm Jerry Riles. Fast Hours of Sports conversation here at WCPT 820 AM, the Rewind Sports 60. You want to jump in our conversation, basketball, baseball, anything in the world of sports, the number here, 773-763-9278, 773-763 WCPT. Fans returning to the games, sporting event. Baseball, hockey, basketball, the Indy 500. What, they have 132,000 fans there,
side by side.
Yeah, I mean, it's fans are coming back, and that's a controversial issue in its own right because of the vaccination and mask and all that stuff. But here's the one thing that's disturbing to me as far as the NBA is concerned, and Robert Scott's going to be joining us. Rob's 2 Cents podcast. He's the host of it. We'll get a chance to get him on briefly. But this is the disturbing thing, Marvelous, that with the playoffs, the NBA, the incidents that are taking place between fans and players, I was beside myself.
Yeah.
Whether you're talking about, and Trae Young, the outstanding guard for the Atlanta Hawks, playing phenomenal basketball, but a Knicks fan spit on him because he was trash talking after there was a game 1 victory. He was trash talking, the Knicks fans, and I understand, rightly so. And he hit a nice floater down the lane to pretty much seal it. Knicks fans, as you well know, it's the greatest place to play if you're an NBA player, the Mecca. Michael Jordan loved playing there, but the Knicks fans, they can be pretty challenging. Of course, Spike Lee on the floor there, he was disappointed with that loss. But for a Knicks fan to spit on Trae Young, it's very disappointing. Then I hear the story about a 76er fan pouring popcorn on Russell Westbrook.
Yep.
And this isn't the first time Russell Westbrook has had an altercation or incident regarding fans at an NBA game. I think something in 2019 happened where in Utah, where he got into a back and forth with the fan, and he had to get security involved. But that was disturbing to hear. And then, most disturbing for me is the fact that the Utah Jazz fans made abusive comments to Ja Morant's parents. The Memphis Grizzlies star guard. The guy's playing phenomenal basketball. He makes it to the playoffs, and he's showing his tail. But Utah Jazz fans made abusive comments to his parents, racial slurs and sexual innuendos. It's like, wait a minute, what the heck is going on here? Fans have an opportunity now to finally get a chance to go to a sporting event, basketball game, see their favorite team play in the playoffs, and this is how you repay being closed up for 15 months? Locked in for 15 months? This is how you show your appreciation for finally getting an opportunity to get out there to enjoy a sporting event, Marvelous?
Yeah, well,
what was your reaction?
I think that they were cooped up too long. Some of these people throwing popcorn at the TV sets and spitting at them was my first impression that they acted out their behavior in very inappropriate ways. Even there was a lot of comments by Commissioner Silver about the zero tolerance, and they're going to look at videos, from the arena and make sure that the fan won't have access to tickets in the future. So hopefully they'll be able to do that with the video evidence. So that's my hope for that. And obviously it's unacceptable. And I mean, I don't even know. I guess that they were able to get the popcorn in through the tunnel, the way I understand it, to hit Westbrook.
Right.
But the spitting and the talking to Morant's family is beyond the pale.
It's just ridiculous. Devin Tingle, our producer for this show, The Fastest Hour in Sports Conversation. Hey, Devin, do we have the Kyrie Irving soundbite queued up? Is it in here? I got it. Here. This is Kyrie Irving, the star guard for the Boston Celtics. Take a listen to this. This is what really this really burned my britches. Kyrie Irving. Listen to his comment. You guys have pretty much heard it. You gals have pretty much heard it. But take a listen anyway again. I think.
Boston. So I'm just looking forward to competing with my teammates, and hopefully we can just keep it strictly basketball. There's no belligerence or any racism going on, subtle racism and people yelling in the crowd. But even if it is, it's part of the nature of the game, and we're just going to focus on what we can control.
Is it something you've experienced in Boston before?
I'm not the only one that could attest to this, but it's just, it won't.
And he's shrugging his shoulders.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, and that was the post-game comments, or it was the pre-game comments of Kyrie Irving. The Boston Celtics taking on the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie Irving said he hoped he didn't hear racist remarks when his Brooklyn Nets go on the road to face the Boston Celtics for Game 3 of their first-round series in the 2021 NBA playoffs. Irving played 2 seasons in Boston and left as a free agent to sign with the Nets in the summer of 2019. And you heard the comments. Now, here's the thing that really just it knocked me over, Marvelous. Yeah. I don't know about you, but it knocked me over. Danny Ainge, the general manager of the Boston Celtics, isn't listening if he doesn't hear racism around the Boston Celtics. That's the headline. The Celtics' lead decision maker made some tone-deaf and disingenuous comments about Kyrie Irving's pleas to keep racism out of his return to Boston. Danny Ainge said, I think that we take those things kind of seriously. Ainge said during a radio interview on 98.5, the Sports Hub, I never heard any of that for any player that I've ever played with in my 26 years in Boston. I've never heard that before from Kyrie, and I talked to him quite a bit. So I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter. We're just playing basketball. Players can say what they want. This guy, Danny Ainge, is a bold-faced liar. He's a bold-faced liar. This guy played in the league for 26 years. He's been involved for 26 years with the Boston Celtics. We know the heyday between the Boston Celtics and the Chicago Bulls, going all the way back to the 85 when Michael Jordan nearly took them out by scoring 63 points in double overtime. For Danny, listen, I've been around for a couple years, right? Right, Marvelous?
Couple.
I remember my brother went to the Great Holy Cross in Worcester, Mass. And I remember visiting him, and this was back in he graduated in 82 from Holy Cross College in 82. I remember, was it the Philadelphia 76ers and the Boston Celtics with Dr. J in 83? Is that when the Sixers won their the NBA title? Was that
right? I'll look it up.
Was that Moses Malone? Was that? At any rate, I'm driving. Well, I'm not driving. My dad, my old man, got us in the station wagon there. You remember the station wagon with the panel, the wood panel on the side? You know, we had that classy station wagon.
83.
Country Squire.
83.
Yeah, 83. Country Squire was the station wagon. We got it from Hawkinson Ford over there on 95th Street, right? We're driving. We're in Worcester. We're listening to the game, and I'm hearing the announcer dogging Dr. J. He's dogging Dr. J. And I swear I wasn't driving, but I almost hit a tree. I wasn't even driving. I had never, ever heard anyone say anything negative or bad about Dr. Julius J. Irving. Never. And I hear this, and they made it seem like Dr. J was like they made him seem like he was a thug, he was a criminal, he was a villain. And I understand on sports terms, but they made him seem like this is this character. And I'm like, wow, I couldn't believe it. I was in Boston from that time to other times over my illustrious life. And the things that I've heard in Boston, just as a regular guy, things that I've seen in Boston as far as racism is concerned and negative treatment toward people who are not from the Boston area, it was scary, appalling, and sad. But for Danny Ainge in 26 years to say, I've never, no, what, are you kidding me? I understand you have to support your team. I understand you have to support your city. I understand you have to support the citizens. But don't be a bold-faced liar like this and say you never heard anything or you haven't talked to anything. You don't know. That's bull. I almost said something bad. Yeah. That's bull crap, man. That's bull crap. Your thoughts when you heard Danny Ainge?
Well, I think that his background maybe has something to do with his perspective. You remember he's from Oregon. He went to BYU. Yep. I mean, you think after all these years that he might have overcome his background because, it's not such a, he can't open his mouth about a city that's considered to be pretty racist to begin with, Boston. I mean, you look at, if you remember the Adam Jones incident on the baseball field a few years ago, I mean, there's clear evidence of people misbehaving and whatnot in Boston. So the fact that he's never heard it, I guess he's either very isolated or is just lying.
No, he's lying. He's not isolated. He's lying. Yeah. He's lying. And here's the deal. Listen, this is listen. I have to talk to my white brothers and sisters. All right, I have to talk to my white brothers and sisters. And you go, why, Jerry? Why do you got it? What are you doing? You're singling out. I'm I'm not Lori Lightfoot. I support Lori Lightfoot, but I'm not doing this Lori Lightfoot thing as far as the media is concerned. But I certainly understand why she made the decisions that she made. But I gotta challenge and talk to my white brothers and sisters. And the reason being is these incidents that I read off for Kyrie Irving with the negative racist comments at Boston from the Boston Celtics fan, from Ja Morant, from Michael Westbrook, from Trae Young. These are all African-American ball players. They're earning their keep. They're at work, albeit they're entertaining us, but they're at work. And I don't even have it. I don't have the background information on these fans allegedly who did these things, these appalling, disgusting things. But I'm here to I'll go to Vegas. I don't bet. But I guarantee you 99.9% sure that these were white fans throwing out racial slurs, cursing them out, throwing popcorn, spitting on these African-American pro ball players because of their dislike for them. And I have to ask my white brothers and sisters out there who are listening and who will listen, why? Why? Why do you think that you have the right, because you paid $75, $80, $125, $150, whatever the case may be, why do you think you have a right to spit on somebody, to cuss somebody out, to verbally abuse their parents in the stands? Who the hell do you think you are, and what gives you the right? Because you paid $150, $75, $80, whatever the price tag is for those tickets, who the hell do you think you are, and what gives you the frickin' right to disrespect another man, to disrespect another human being who's going to work? Who the hell do you think you are? And the reason I single out my white brothers and sisters is because predominantly those in the stands, whether it's the United Center, whether it's Wrigley Field, wherever the case may be, 90% of the people in the stands there are white Americans. They're white Americans. So what gives you the right to do any of this stuff? Yeah, you can cheer. You can say, hey, feed, five, fall, farm. Joe is a freaking bum. Yeah, I got that. You can throw back a baseball on the field at Wrigley Field if you want to. That's fine. But you crossed the line. You crossed the line. Jalen Rose on NBA Jump on ESPN said, hey, listen, and I commend him for this, and I second the motion. Any fan who is caught yelling obscenities, spitting on somebody, throwing anything at anybody. And I understand why Ron Artest took his ass up into the stands at the United Center back then and tried to whoop some butts. I understand that. Because these fans are out of control. But Jalen Rose said, hey, listen, any of those fans, this is what needs to happen. This is what needs to happen. Don't just ban them from the arena for the rest of the year.
I thought it was in Detroit, but that's okay.
Yeah, I know that. I'm just saying. But listen. I'm on my soapbox. I'm not done yet.
Okay.
Hang on. You're going to say something in a minute. As soon as I get off my soapbox.
Okay.
But Jalen Rose said, hey, listen. All these fans, this is what needs to happen. Adam Silver, Lord of Gauntlet. All these fans should be banned from all sporting venues in their respective cities for life. For life. Banned. Get out of here. You're done. Because let me tell you something, Marvelous.
Yep.
Let me tell you something. If you go to anybody's job, I don't care if they're a lawyer, I don't care if they're a doctor, I don't care if they're working construction on the Kennedy Expressway, I don't care what, if they're a waitress at a restaurant, I don't care what it is. If you go to anybody's job and you cuss them out, you call them racial names, you call them sexual, you spit on them, you throw anything at them, guess what's going to happen to you? Guess what's going to happen? You're going to jail. You're going to get fined. It's called assault. You can't do that, Marvelous.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. I was just going to say the thing that puzzles me about this is they let the fans back in the arena. Have they not let the security back in the arena? I mean, you'd think it would be pretty easy to identify somebody throwing popcorn at Westbrook, wouldn't you? I mean, why aren't they found and banned on the spot? I just don't understand that. And then can't Moran's family identify the people and say, "Hey, security"?
I think they found the people. That's not the problem.
Okay.
I think they found the people. That's not the problem.
Okay. Well,
the problem is the fact that these people feel confident enough and courage enough that they can do this.
I was just thinking you get rid of them, and I don't know if one bad apple spoils the whole bunch, but hopefully it's isolated. I'm just hoping that.
It's not isolated. I just gave you 4 incidents.
I know.
Kyrie Irving. They're calling him names in Boston.
Yeah.
Trey Young. They spitting on him. Russell Westbrook. They're throwing popcorn at him. Jerry Moran. His parents. Those aren't isolated situations.
Yeah.
Those are 4 incidents that's happened in the past week or week and a half at NBA playoff games.
Yeah, I hear you. I was just saying that I think that again, hopefully it's not the majority of fans, I'm sure it isn't, that are going to do this. I just want these people to be properly punished, and then, as often works with punishment, it would discourage other people from the same type of behavior. That's all I was saying.
No, I understand, and I certainly get that. We want to hear from you. Our number here is 773-763-WCPT, 773-763-9278. Before we go to our guest, let's go out to the TRS60 hotline and pick it up with Pam, who's on the phone waiting patiently, calling from the west side. Pam, how are you? Welcome to the Rewind Sports 60.
Thank you. I am outraged. And let me just make this clear. I don't care how many times they hear rappers and other people use the N-word. If you call me the N-word and I have it within my power, you call me that at your own risk. These men, grown men, are going to work. They should not have to. I don't care if it's one fan is one too many. And Nate Silver, he is going to have to step up and step out and say something. That fans will be charged. If they're throwing things, they will be charged with assault. They will be removed from the audience and barred from ever coming to a game. But here's also the deal, Jerry. You got to deal with these racist owners, too. This is just... If I was the basketball players, I would simply say, if one player is called, none of us will play. Because this is outrageous and it is wrong. And as a black woman, I am tired of people thinking they can call us the N-word at will when they want to. And there will be no consequence.
I agree with you.
I don't play around with that word. I don't play with racism. And I don't know how our white brethren need to make their white community understand this, Jerry.
I don't, you know what, Pam? And we appreciate your call. I got my guest on, but thank you for listening and thank you for the call.
Yeah, but what is Nate Silver going to do?
Adam Silver.
He did do something, and I'll read it to you.
Adam, I'm sorry.
All right, keep listening. Marvelous got the latest.
Silver said in an interview, no one is going to get away with an act like that. You're going to be caught. You're going to be banned from the arena, Silver said. And his name is Adam, by the way.
Yeah.
In some cases, there may be criminal prosecution, depending on the conduct rises to the level of an assault or something that the police are going to take care of. The fan at the Wells Fargo Center was suspended indefinitely from attending any events there and had his season ticket membership with the 76ers revoked. So therefore, you got your wish already.
Yeah, I mean, but again, Jalen Rose took it another level higher, and I agree with him because you need to set an example. Any fan getting out of hand, whether you're spitting on somebody, whether you're throwing some objects at someone, whether you're cussing out their family and calling them names, you need to be not only banned from that venue, that respective venue, but you need to be banned from all venues in that respective city, lifetime. Because it's just, you cannot go anywhere in this country that we live in and disrespect people on the job. You can work there and you can't disrespect people on the job. So why do you think you have the freaking right to disrespect a man at his job because you paid $50, $60, $100, $125, whatever the price tag you paid? What gives you the right? Did you think that you can go in and just disrespect somebody like that and laugh about it and think it's okay? You can't do that. And if Adam Silver or any commissioner in sports today allow that to happen, like Pam from the West Side said, shame on you. Shame on you. And players, they're going to have to, hey, listen. I want to hear from you guys. 773-763-9278. We're going to go out to our phone lines on our TRS60 hotline. He's been patiently waiting. He is Robert Scott. He is the host of the podcast, Rob's 2 Cents, covering the NBA here in the great city of Chicago. He joined us on the Rewind Sports 60. Rob, how are you, man?
I'm all right, Jerry. How you feeling today, brother?
Hey, man, you know what? I came in here. I wanted to just, have a good day. I mean, the White Sox are continue to, pound the ball out. The Cubs, they end their 6-game winning streak, but, they're trying to get past things. Injury bugs has bitten both teams, and I just want to come in and talk. Paul Shivari, I'm going to see if we can get him in before we're done on the fastest hour in sports conversation. But I got to tell you, Rob, and I want to hear your response as far as these incidents that have taken place in the NBA over the past week or so since the playoffs got underway. Man, I'm irate. I'm disappointed. And like Pam said from the West Side, man, I'm almost fed up with all this BS. Because listen, man, and I'm talking to my white brothers and sisters out there. Just because you have the money doesn't give you the right to disrespect anybody. It doesn't give you the right. You cannot go out there and disrespect. Well, you can do it, but the league, the commissioners, they need to come down hard on you. And again, Jalen Rose said, hey, you know what? Not just the Boston Celtics, listen, you can't come to any sporting event in the city that you reside in lifetime. You're done because you forfeited that. You forfeited that. I don't want this slap on the wrist and say, oh, it's okay. We're going to kick him out for the rest of the year. All right, there you go. And then, and then next season, he's got his freaking season tickets, man. Talk me off the ledge here, Robert. Talk me off the ledge. What was your thoughts when you heard the comments?
Listen, I understand exactly what you're saying. But, as you guys were mentioning earlier, great show, by the way. I appreciate you guys having me on. We saw this a couple seasons ago with Russell Westbrook. We've seen this time and time again where these fans are getting bold enough to step in these NBA players' faces knowing if you seen this man on the street, that wouldn't happen in that way. They think they're protected because they know that these guys, like you said, are at work and making a living. And they shouldn't be allowed to go to any NBA competition. You can't do an incident in California and then try to go to the Bay Area and go to a Golden State game. No. They should have a black book like they have in the casinos. Hey, if you are on this black book, you are not allowed in any arena in the country that houses the NBA games. So, Jerry, I completely agree with you. It's just getting ridiculous. And you know what? Hey, since they got all these celebrity exhibition boxing matches going on, you do an incident, why don't you step in the ring with one of these NBA players and let's see if you tough. You got to remember, these guys are still 6'8", 6'9" human beings. These are not little men. So I just to have the gall to just do the things that they do, I just don't understand it, Jerry. It complexes me.
Yeah, we're on there with the host of Rob's 2 Cents, a podcast, an NBA expert. He's Robert Scott on our TR60 hotline, talking NBA, talking playoffs, and talking about the unnecessary, disgusting situations that occurred over the past week and a half regarding NBA players and fans. Fans obviously have an opportunity to, because we're getting past the pandemic and getting everyone vaccinated, fans are now allowed into the venues across the country, sporting venues, and unfortunately with the NBA, these fans, and again, marvelous. I don't know if it's because they were locked up for 15 months and they're like, hey, we get it. And they get a couple. They were
spitting at the TV set.
It's unbelievable. I mean, they get some liquid courage in them, talking about some beer or whatever, which is $10 a pop over at Wrigley Field. So, but where do you come off, Marvelous? That you feel that you have the right that you can disrespect another man like that?
I know. Well, I mean, again, if they're banned for going to the arena and they're made an example, that would hopefully prevent this to be widespread. Again, it's obviously a bad thing, and hopefully we're not going to see any more of it. That's all I can hope for.
Well, let's hope that you're absolutely right. And again, let's hope the commissioners across the board, whether it's the National Football League, the NBA, the NHL, or Major League Baseball, that they certainly have sent a memo out to their respective staffs and the teams and say, hey, we're not going to tolerate this, because again, the Cubs had 24,824 fans over at the friendly confine, and that actually, from a visual watching on the tube and Marquee Sports, it's good to see the fans out there.
The bleachers were jam-packed.
Yeah, it's very good to see fans a part of that, but you don't want this type of behavior. And the temperatures are going to start to move upward toward the 80s. They're expecting 90-degree temperatures next weekend here in the great city of Chicago. Fans are going to be liquored up, and they're going to be having a good time, and they're going to freaking go nuts, man. But as far as the NBA is concerned, Rob 2 cents, Robert Scott joining us on the TRS60 hotline. Give us a breakdown as far as how you see the NBA playoffs panning out so far. What's your assessment as far as what you've been able to see over the past couple weeks?
Let me tell you, the NBA playoffs have started off with a boom. And one of the sleeper teams that I told people to look out for just completed a sweep, and that would be the Milwaukee Bucks. I told people that when they got Jrue Holiday in the offseason, that might be the missing piece, because you have a two-way player. And let me tell you, the Bucks are looking very scary right now, because now you can't build that wall again. Now you know that the Nets are still looking great as well. I mean, we have three of the best isolation players on one team. You still have to worry about the Lakers out there, but AD went down with an injury today of the groin. So now you have to get worried, because as they get more injured, Phoenix starting to get healthier, because Chris Paul looked excellent today, scoring 18 points and just giving his team that leadership that they need. So right now, I love the playoffs, because you don't know who's going to win. You see what Dallas is doing with the Clippers. That is turning out to be a great series. And Luka is making a name for himself as the new man of the league. And I'm just loving these playoffs right now, Jerry. I'm telling you.
No, it is exciting. I'm just happy the fact that we do have playoffs and we can watch it. It's been interesting. But before we move forward, as far as the playoff picture is concerned, give me your assessment, your breakdown of the play-in games just to get to the playoffs, brother. What did you think about that? LeBron James said whoever came up with this idea is stupid. What did you think about it?
I actually love the play-in tournament, because, around that time, for the most part, you still have the lower seeds fighting, but those top-tier seeds, they're giving it a rest, and they're bringing everybody in to try to stay healthy for the playoffs. So we got to see pretty much playoff basketball before the playoffs started. I mean, think about it. To give a person like Steph Curry a chance, who was just hot just going into the last parts of the season, and just to see that they were sending 3-4 men to guard him, yet this man was still able to score 37, 39 points. It just made for some exciting basketball. Ja Morant, stepping up in his second year, leading his team to the playoffs. We got to see some great basketball, not to mention Russell Westbrook going on his triple-double spree and showcasing young players like LaMelo Ball, DeMontis Sabonis out there in Indiana. I mean, we got to see some great basketball play, and I personally love to play in. I feel like, it gives those 9th and 10th seeds a chance to fight. Just because you make it into that 7th and 8th place, no, you shouldn't be at the lower half of the total pole. Hey, if you want to be in the playoffs, fight hard, get in that 6th place, and keep the season going. But I love the play-in tournament. I can't wait to see it again. It just brings some exciting basketball to us NBA fans. And not like you guys have been mentioning, the fans are back. That's what makes sports. So, besides those crazy incidents, it's been great. Did you guys catch that Knicks game? Just hearing that New York crowd. I almost brought tears to your eyes, man.
No. You know what, Robert? You're absolutely right. And literally, it nearly brought tears to your eyes. Regardless of, what you think about the New York Knicks, regardless of what you think of Spike Lee, regardless of any of that, to see the fans embrace their team. These guys haven't won since 1973, okay? I mean, the New York Knicks, that's tough. I feel their pain, but the enthusiasm, the excitement, the electricity in the Mecca. I mean, it was exhilarating just to see that watching on television, and you say, "Hey, we're back." We're back, and it was just really, really, really cool to see these fans in the stands cheering on the New York Knicks.
It was just beautiful, and not to mention, with us being from Chicago, of course, we like go D Rose, go.
Yeah, Marvelous.
Hey, Robert, this is Dan in the studio. I second your feeling on the play-in game. I mean, you actually had Golden State and the Lakers. I mean, two teams that have been champions in recent years with elite players in a play-in tournament. I mean, that was really pretty remarkable. And Memphis, of course, then was able to advance by beating Golden State in a remarkable overtime game. So, I mean, the West was particularly interesting. The East was good too, but I think the West really showed that this play-in tournament is here to stay.
I totally agree with you, Dan, man. Nice to meet you as well, brother.
Yeah.
Just to get that, that Golden State LA, because it's kind of turning into a rivalry, They've seen each other quite a few times in meaningful basketball. So, and of course, what a story, for all of us sports talkers out here, all of our sports analytic people, just to have LeBron and Steph Curry go head to head once again. And LeBron hit a crazy shot. I mean, I love LeBron, but sometimes he. But hey, what an amazing shot, right?
Yeah, I mean that 3-pointer was amazing. It was about 58 seconds left in the game there, and he cranked up a 3-pointer and he made it. I'm not a LeBron James fan. I don't like the dude. I don't like the dude. So when he hit that jumper, I was like, damn, because one, they get the victory, and two, they just add more to his accolades, and please help me off the ledge, Robert. Help me off the ledge, please. For the love of God, stop comparing this. He's not Jordan. He's not. So stop it.
No.
How many weeks did he miss with How many weeks did he miss with an ankle? The high ankle sprain? How many weeks was he out? 6 weeks.
He was out for a while. I think he missed like 6 weeks and then came back. Had to miss an additional couple games. LeBron James, and I won't deny his greatness. That
I will.
He's
a
great player. You know what I mean? But they be so quick. And I'm talking about all the sports fans to compare him to Jordan. He's more of a Magic Johnson type player. Jordan was an assassin, and the only person that deserves that comparison is Kobe Bryant. They're like great.
Nope.
Kobe Bryant.
Stop it. Stop it. Just stop it.
Michael Jordan is the GOAT, and we all know he's the GOAT. So that conversation, the moment LeBron lost to the finals, he lost the right to say he's the GOAT.
Right.
Michael Jordan 6 times to the finals, undefeated, all 6-time finals MVP. Case closed.
That's it. Hey, Robert Scott joining us on our TRS60 hotline. Hey, man, before we go, and we appreciate you taking some time out on this Memorial Holiday celebration weekend to join us to talk some NBA basketball. Now, you talked about the Milwaukee Bucks, and you say, hey, maybe they might have something there. I disagree with you. They get out of the first round, of course, but I don't think that they're strong enough. I don't think they're strong enough to come out of the East. You got Philadelphia with Joel Embiid. That kid is he's playing his tail off, and you got the Nets, man. And the reason I don't see the Milwaukee Bucks coming out is the fact that I'm still not sold on Giannis,
the Greek freak,
Antetokounmpo. I'm not sold on his perimeter game. If the only way he can be really effective, and he's made some improvements in that area, but the only way he can be really effective for this team to succeed is, as you well know, and everybody watching, he's got to be in the paint. He's got to take it to the rack. Teams aren't going to let him do that. And I don't know how physically strong he is to take the pounding. So therefore, he would have to step out the perimeter, the three-point arc, and crank him up. And he's not that type of player. And you need an all-around game, in my opinion, to get to the finals and win the finals. Your thoughts?
I can agree with you to a point, but you also can't deny the fact that Chris Middleton has been playing better. Again, the additions of Drew Holiday, the addition of PJ Tucker. You still got Big Brook Lopez out there. He has other people to space the floor for him, which allows you to not be able to build that wall, which allows Giannis to just be Giannis. But again, you bring up a great point. I'm not sold on Brooklyn yet because they don't play defense. But man, when you talk about the Philadelphia 76ers, when we're talking about a monster, a stud like Joel Embiid, who can just do it all for you, and they have some great additions. You bring in a Danny Green, a proven champion. You bring in a Steph Curry, who I don't know what they put in them Curry's waters, but why all them boys can shoot like that?
Because of they dead. Because of Dell. That's what they put in the water. Like, hey, it's not the water. Have you seen Mrs. Curry? It ain't got nothing to do with the water. It ain't got nothing to do with the water. I'm just here to tell you.
You know, guys.
Yeah, you got a great point there, brother Jerry. You got a great point. But I think, in my opinion, I like Milwaukee. I see Milwaukee and 76ers in the Eastern Conference Finals, but I do have the 76ers coming out of the East. Yeah. And then in the West, I don't know yet. I'm not sold yet on the Lakers, especially if this AD injury is serious. And I have to see Chris Paul stay healthy. I don't know if he has a jinx or a curse, but this guy just gets hurt when the playoffs start. And, of course, Denver loses Jamal Murray. Portland, they haven't really proven anything. So it is really up in the air. If the Clippers can get it together and beat the Dallas Mavericks, I will say the Clippers might be the scariest team in the Western Conference.
One of our callers actually said that a few weeks ago. He thought that the Clippers could be the dark horse to come out and play in the finals.
And guys, the team with the best overall record, you forgot them, the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Utah, again, they're like another Milwaukee. They can get out the first round, but, we remember last year blowing that 3-1 lead on Denver. They were the first team to go.
Well, I did notice something about the Bucks with the Greek Freak. He did quite a bit of passing out to the three-point shooters, and if they can convert on three-pointers like they did in this first round, they'll be very dangerous.
No, I just don't. Here's the deal, and Robert, we appreciate you. We're going to have to bail you, but here's the deal regarding the Milwaukee Bucks. I know they've improved. I know that they are they're a threat, but I just don't think that they are physically tough enough. I don't think that they're physically tough enough for the grind. They're a good finesse team. They got some great additions and some great players. The Greek Freak is who he is. But when you talk about the 7-game series and you talk about the pounding, I just don't see Milwaukee Bucks being that team to get past Philadelphia or the Nets. And you talked about the Nets. But they just got too many firepower, man. They just got too much. But I don't see the Milwaukee Bucks having the physicality to outlast anybody in the 7-game series as they move forward. That's just my opinion.
Hey, we shall see. Brother Jerry, Brother Marvelous, it's been a pleasure meeting you guys. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to be on your show.
Robert, Rob2cents.com. Hey, if anybody wants to find out more about you, if they want to check you out on your podcast, brother, how do they find you?
Oh, man, just look me up on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. Check Rob's 2 Cents. That's ROBS, the number 2 and cents, CENTS. This has been the boy that's hot, your boy Rob Scott. Also look me up, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm everywhere, people.
Hey, Robert, thank you, brother. We'll be talking to you as the playoffs continue to move forward, my good friend. Enjoy the holiday weekend and stay safe, brother.
You guys as well, man. Thank you again. I'm very humble.
My man. And we'll talk to you soon. Robert Scott, Rob's 2 Cents on the Rewind Sports 60. Hey, man, he's a good addition, wealth of knowledge, and he was introduced to me or referred to us by the great Kelly Lee Williams.
Kelly Lee
Williams! He's out there, but I like Rob's 2 Cents. I like Robert Scott, and we'll be hearing more from him as we move forward. And I got to apologize. Paul Shivari, he is our in-house baseball guru, baseball expert. We were going to talk some Cubs and Sox, but unfortunately, we got backed up because I got on my soapbox and I got on my rant, and so we lost some time. But Paul, thank you so very much again for filling in the past couple of weeks in the big seat here, and I apologize for not being able to get to you, but we certainly will have you on moving moving forward. The Cubs, they got a tough spell, Marvelous.
Yeah.
They got a tough one coming up.
They get the Padres and then the Giants and then the Padres again.
Oh, my
It's gonna
goodness.
be to see our old friend, Yu Darvish.
And real quick, condolences going out to the Mark Eaton and his family. It's unbelievable. I just heard that news yesterday, and I tell you, but Marvelous, it's great to be back. It's great to see you. Devin Tingle, outstanding work.
Same here. I was just going to tell you, did you see the news that just hit the wire by Marcelo Ozuna? That's a terrible story. He apparently choked his wife and slammed her against the wall. So that's another story that's going to be unbelievable that we should be covering next week.
Yeah, it's man, I tell you. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, mental illness is very, very serious. And again, being locked up for 15 months, there are people who are snapping off. They certainly are. Whether it's in the great city of Chicago or around the country at sporting events or just their everyday walk of life, what I say to people, what I do, first of all, if you feel yourself something coming on, take 10 seconds. Take 10 seconds. Count to 10, right? Count to 10. Walk away. It's not worth it. Whatever the case may be, it's not worth it. Take a chill. Take it down. Chicago, let's get together. Let's rally together. And let's come back strong. Cut this crap out. It's Jerry Riles, the Rewind Sports 60, WCPT 820 AM. Fastest hour in sports conversation. Thanks to the marvelous one, Dan Marver, Devin Tingle, our executive producer of the Fastest Hour in Sports Conversation, and of course our guest, Robert Scott, Rob's 2 cents. You can check him out, NBA expert. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy this Memorial Holiday weekend. Stay safe. Thanks to all our veterans out there. Have a great week. We'll talk to you next week on the Rewind Sports 60, WCPT 820 AM. Take care, everybody.
How are you?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing good. What was this offseason like, particularly knowing how strong you finished the season? What did that do for your confidence? Did that do anything for your motivation? All that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I definitely. It wasn't enough for me last year, just knowing my untapped potential that I have within myself. And as far as like my leadership last year, I didn't do as well as I felt as I could have done. So for me, it was definitely like a motivational tool for me to take the proper time that I needed to, tack the off season properly as far as like the way I plan on leading this year and the way I plan on helping this team and this offense more so than none. But it was a big off season for me, and it's still an off season. We're in OTAs right now. And once OTAs is over, we'll have another month to where I can still prepare to do what I need to do for this offense and for this team. So I'm just doing everything that I can to try to get better every day.
In what ways do you want to be a better leader?
Just be more vocal, be able to stand behind what I say and allow my words to carry a lot of strength when I speak. And that's just gaining trust with everybody. So doing all the right things right at all times. You can't be a half-ass leader. You got to be a full-on leader, and you got to be able to, let the guys around you know that you're here for the greater good of the team at all times.
Dane Weeder.
David, when you had a chance to zoom out on that closing stretch of the regular season, really after Thanksgiving, your individual production, the production of the running game, what did you see? What really clicked in for you individually and the group as a whole to get that production up to where it needs to be?
I wouldn't necessarily say anything just click. I think, throughout the whole entirety of the year, like what I learned in the NFL, like being here for the 2 years that I've been here, you have a lot of ups and a lot of downs throughout the whole entire season. So what you typically do is like either it's fight or flight. You either stick in it for the long run or you run the opposite way. And I've never been one for running the other way. So the biggest thing for me was that clicked. I think just the mentality for everybody, it kind of just stayed the same, and we all just trusted in each other. And we believed that it was going to shake and something was going to work. And when the time came, it did. So we just kind of ran with it.
Today was the first day that we saw Justin Fields throw passes to you. I'm curious, in your early experiences here, getting a comfort level with him, what do you see out of him and some of those passes he can float to you coming out of the backfield there, what your impressions are?
Yeah, Justin is definitely he's a freakish athlete. to say the least. He already kind of carries that leader mantra that you rarely see in rookies, that I know I didn't have, but he's great and he's progressing well. It's good to see him being as young as he is and just being able to take the reins of things, and looking at Andy, following behind Andy, and Andy showing him the ropes, and he looks great out there. I'm proud of the kid.
Thanks, David.
How about Kush?
David, Dan was just talking about that 6-game stretch coming out of the bye, and it was pretty obvious that, the play calling was changed and the game plan seemed different, and you were featured. Can you walk us through or tell us anything about what went on during the bye week last year that allowed that transition to, changes that were made, or what you were told that helped you become so productive that last 6 games?
Yeah, like I said, nothing really changed. It's a mentality that maintained for us. Just thinking that whatever attacks us or whatever looks us in the eye, we got to be ready to handle it, whatever it may be. So us as a collective group, as an offense, and as a team, the morale just kind of went up, and we got tired of being where we were. You get to a point where you get tired of things not going right, and you kind of demand for things to change. And the guys in the room that we got as leaders, they kind of did that. Well, not kind of, but they did that. And it was able to change fast.
So there were no adjustments to the running game, that outside zone read. There was no more focus on that, anything like that?
Not that I know of.
Okay, thank you.
Colleen Kane.
Hey, David, going off your answer to Pat's question about the offseason, just how have you spent your time kind of preparing since we last talked to you, and have you made any changes in your preparation as you're kind of looking to take that next step this season?
Yeah, definitely. I've been working with probably the best speed trainer in the world. His name is Chris Corfus. Like the things he's actually teaching me how to run. Like, I'm 23 years old, getting ready to turn 24 here soon, a couple of days, but I've not been able to run properly the entirety of my life. So, me not really realizing how I didn't know how to run, he's definitely like cleared that image up for me, and it's definitely helping me out a lot.
Pat Finley.
What do you mean by that? Explain that to us.
Elaborate on the question.
You said you've run your whole life, but you didn't really know how to run. What is it, a proper form that he is teaching you? What is he teaching you that's different than what you've done before?
Well, if I could tell you that's like me giving you the recipe to my mama's fried chicken. Now, I can't do that. Just know it's working.
Mark Grody.
Hey, David, I'm just curious about your somewhat, as you said in one of your first answers, your kind of dissatisfaction with last year. What is it that you want more from yourself? What specifically is it that you'd like to do better to unleash that untapped potential?
Yeah, just embracing the role that is meant for me, whatever that may be. Like I said, I don't think I was vocal enough, and I don't think I left it all on the field as I should have. I think I could have done better for my guys around me. I think I sold them for a little bit, but that's what the offseason is for me to go back and get to the drawing board and try to fix things that I felt as if I didn't do well on, and just try to improve them. So I know this year I'm not here to let my guys down, and I'm here for whatever may come my way.
Do you feel like you let your guys down last year? Just to confirm what you're saying, David.
Yeah, I don't think I did as good as I could have done for those guys.
Thank you.
All right, we got time for 2 more. We're gonna go Joe Lewis and close out with Alex Shapiro. Joe.
Well, yeah. First of all, I want to say happy early birthday to you, since your birthday is coming up. And then speaking on your expectations and your feeling of disappointment last year, with Tariq coming back healthy and with Damian Williams being brought over from Kansas City, are you looking forward to sharing the ball more and having an opportunity to rest? And what do you expect the unit that you all have to do in this upcoming season?
Like I said, I'm just here to be a great team player. And Damian and Khalil and Tariq coming back is always great to see guys being able to do something that they love every day. So I'm just looking at it as an opportunity for us as a room to be very successful because we got a lot of talent in that room, as you can see. So it's exciting, very exciting. So I'm just ready for the next step. And as far as like with the team and the expectations that I have for me and for ourselves, the ceiling's high as it could ever be because it's untapped. And what I visualize for this team and what we can be, that a lot of people don't see for us right now, is a lot of success. And I just can't wait till we get to that point and when we can feel that morale and everybody can just feel that a storm is brewing, as the Cyclones would say.
Alex Shapiro.
Hey, David. So you just mentioned that you feel like you could have done more for your teammates. You could have left stuff on the field. But I heard you on a podcast not too long ago saying that you were something to the effect of tired of being slept on as one of the top running backs in the league. So I was wondering, do you have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder coming into this season, or do you feel like you got something to prove to the league this season?
Yeah, I mean, the entirety of my career, of me being able to carry a football and do it successfully, I've had a chip on my shoulder. But as it happens so often from, wherever I was then to where I am now, the chip grows. It's no longer a chip. It's been a boulder for a while now. So it's more so about me just going out and not proving anybody wrong, but proving myself right to me.
Rain, how's it going?
Good. How was it?
Good. Obviously, this is voluntary, and some folks have chosen not to attend. I'm curious, from your standpoint, why was it worthwhile to you to be in attendance, and why do you want to be here during this stage?
Well, as an offensive lineman, our group is all about camaraderie and working together and getting our combinations and our communication together. So I knew when we came up here, they weren't going to run us into the ground. We were going to be able to be at a teaching place to start. And we've kind of ramped it up a little bit, but we're still working smart. So that's all we ever want, is just to work smart and get better, but still get our work in.
Coach Nagy expressed admiration for the unity that you guys have had as an offensive line. I'm curious, with all the lines you've been on, how do you compare this and how do you describe what you guys got going right now?
We're a close-knit group. We really care for each other. We do everything together. We try to be one heartbeat. We don't try to be individuals. And, unfortunately on lines that can happen, but our line here, I think we, me, Cody, James, and all of us with experience on the line have really hammered that point home that we're all about unity and we're all about doing things together and having camaraderie. And we know that's going to feed into what we do on the field come the season and preseason.
Larry Mayer.
Hey, Jermaine, what are some of your first impressions of Andy Dalton, working with him as a player and a person?
He's a veteran quarterback. He's a Texas guy. He's from Katy, so we had that connection, and we hit it off immediately on that. And I'm always happy about that. And I do like the Texas Christian University. I have a lot of friends who've gone there, so it's been great getting to know him. As a quarterback, consummate pro. He gets the ball out on time, which is critical for a starting quarterback and critical for offensive linemen. He's a leader of men, and he's done it before. He's been in the fire, and nothing phases him. So you love that in a quarterback, that veteran presence, and he's been everything we could have asked him to be.
Thank you.
Brad Biggs.
Hey, Jermaine, what's going on, man? I'm curious, did the coaches try to find a balance for you guys as players by reducing OTAs by 1 week?
I think it's a good balance. I think as we come into 2021 after a crazy 2020, I think it's time that we all start to adjust and start to just not do everything the old way. We can always adjust and get better and smarter, and it helps all parties. It's not it's not about coaches and control. It's not about players and not having to do long practices and all that. It's just about all of us getting better, and it's been a great partnership. We have a lot of our offense here, and we've been able to really get a lot of good work. And the extra week of teaching and strength and conditioning was really good for us. Also, we do appreciate that, and just being up here together, like was mentioned before, the line being up here together, being able to work out together, and just it's that time of year. And I think a lot of guys around the league will have that same sentiment, just like being around the other guys, and that's really what it's about this time of year.
Was it odd seeing so many defensive guys not there today? I mean, there were I know you're on the O-line, but there were a grand total of 3 D linemen there.
Yeah, it's everybody's choice. It's all voluntary. So, we know those guys are going to be ready when they get here. We know we have so many great pros on this team that played in so many big moments. We know they'll be ready whenever they're here, and we'll welcome them, and it'll be like they didn't miss a beat. I've seen it my entire career. It's not the first year that certain guys don't show up. It's just everybody has their own things they need to deal with and do during the off season, and some guys have the leeway to be able to be up here. So it is what it is. We all, when we all get together, we know when the bullets start flying, our guys are gonna be ready to go.
Mark Potash.
Hey, Jermaine, how do you feel about playing a 17th game this season? There's so much concern about injuries in the NFL. You'd think there'd be fewer games than more, but you've got one extra one. Just would like to know how you feel about that, and do you guys as linemen talk about that, because you're going to bear the brunt of that, a lot of you guys.
Yeah, it's it's different, it's an adjustment, but you can kind of complain about it, pontificate about it all you want, but we have to do it, and we'll be fine doing it. We'll adjust. We just have to do a good job taking care of our bodies, because the goal is always to be playing 17, 18, 19 games. Sometimes it's just gotta add 20, 21 on there. So it's fine. You complain about it and talk crazy about it, and that's all good banter. But at the end of the day, we'll be ready, and after the 16th game, we'll be like, oh, it's usually over after this, or we're going to the playoffs. But we'll play a 17th, and we'll enjoy it, and we'll do a great job at it.
Habar Kush.
Hey, Jermaine, I've got an O-line question for you, but before I get there real quick, I know it's just Zoom, but you look like you may be a little lighter this year. Have you changed your body type or your preparation at all?
Well, every year you're trying to get better with nutrition, especially as you get older in the NFL. You can't really do the things you did when you were younger. Unfortunately, you gotta really hone in on your diet and be disciplined about it. And every year I've just tried to get better with it, and I've tried to keep adding things to my regimen to let me continue to have longevity in this league, because it's a tough league and it can be unforgiving at times. So you want to have all the advantages you can have, especially with diet, especially with being smart with workouts, but still getting your work in. We just want to keep at it, and I think that's a lot of guys say that as they get older. I had guys my rookie year telling me, hey, you can probably eat whatever you want right now, but in 4 or 5 years, when things are aching and you got to keep up with 21-year-olds and you're 5, 6, 7 years older than them, you're gonna make those changes, and you notice them. You notice them, and they help you on a day-to-day.
So the O-line question, just real quick. Tevin Jenkins, it looks like he could end up a plug-and-play, highly drafted starter as a rookie. You have experience with that. What would you tell him about being prepared to go possibly as early as the opener, or certainly early in his rookie season?
Just keep competing, keep playing hard, keep getting better, keep looking for ways to get better. I think as a rookie O-lineman, there's so many things you don't know, and you don't even know what you don't know, and it can be a real tough thing. You're kind of learning on the go in a lot of situations, but it's all about competition. It's all about what can I do to get a little bit better every day, and there has to be an everyday type of question. It has to be an everyday type of action for you to continue to get better, because it's like I said before, it's a tough league, and it can expose you pretty quick. So you just got to keep getting better. You got to keep asking questions. You got to keep learning from your mistakes. There are going to be mistakes early. It happens, but just keep learning from it and keep moving on and keep your head up about it.
Thank you, Jermaine.
Dan Weeder.
Man, we really haven't talked to you since last season ended. I'm curious how you felt the stretch run of last season went for you individually after you bumped positions and the line as a whole sort of seemed to solidify itself a little bit.
It was good. I've played a lot of offensive tackle in my career. I really do enjoy playing offensive tackle. I do think it's a great position for me, even though I do have the ability to play inside. So moving outside, I thought was a cool experience for me, and I think it's been cool to start back up spring, still playing outside and still getting better at it and still learning new things and still being, still just learning. And it's been good. It's been good. The stretch run was good. I'm glad we were able to get things back on track and we had a chance to get in the playoffs. And I thought we had a good chance in that game. Just we didn't execute enough on offense, but that's okay. But we come back this year and we just get better. And I'm excited for what I'm going to be able to do, and I'm excited for what our offensive line, our offense, and what our team's going to be able to do ultimately.
Thank you.
Pat Finley.
Somewhat along those lines, the way you guys ran the ball in the second half of the season, maybe the back third of the season, what did that do for everybody's confidence that you can do it again? And can you feel that in a way this offseason that you guys know you can run the ball when you have to?
Yeah, it's been something we've stressed. We love to run the ball, put our hand in the dirt. We have so many capable backs coming back this year. David, Tariq's coming back, Damian from the Chiefs, and we have a couple young rookies and a couple young guys from last year that's still coming back, and they run hard and they're really learning our system. And I think last year we were all learning as we were going along with the abbreviated offseason. We weren't able to get our runs installed and work them on the field for so long. So I think it was just we kind of got off to a good start, and then we plateaued a little bit, and then we kind of found our groove again. And I think that's working hand in hand with David. We got comfortable. David got more comfortable. And we're just getting more comfortable now. And we're not even where we want to be. And I thought we had some pretty decent numbers in a lot of run categories. So we know that we have so much ahead of us in that aspect.
All right, we got time for a couple more. We'll go Colleen Kane, Mark Grody, and close it out with Joe Lewis. Colleen?
Hey, Jermaine, I had a question about COVID as things are kind of going back to normal around the country. I was curious what the conversations have been like with coaches and kind of the team as far as the benefits of player vaccination, because I know the NFL protocols will ease up for players that are vaccinated. And then also, can I just ask if you've been vaccinated yet?
So, discussion is, it's been encouraged by the league. It's been encouraged around the league. And me personally, I do think it's a good thing. I think getting the COVID-19 under control we just needed that. And I think the vaccines have been the numbers have said that it's saved a lot of lives, and the amount of deaths have gone down. And that's what we want ultimately, no matter what anybody's opinion is on it. Me personally, I have not gotten around to it. It's something that I do plan on sitting down and really exploring soon, looking into it, really getting deep into the education on it, and then making an informed decision. But at the end of the day, you also have to account for the people around you. So, it's some give and take to it. But I can't see myself being the selfish one and not doing it. I think it's a good thing for a lot of people to do, and I would encourage it. It's just, everybody has their views on it, but with the NFL and the protocols, we don't love waking up every day and getting tested. We don't love, having to wear a mask around the building all day. It can wear on you a little bit. So, some incentives never hurt. Incentives never hurt.
Mark Grody.
Hey, Jermaine, the last time we spoke to your position coach, Juan Castillo, he said that he thinks that you can be a Pro Bowler. He was pretty adamant about it. What do you think when you hear that?
I don't think he's wrong. I think, he knows me pretty well. He knows how I work. He knows my football IQ and what I've put into this game. what I've done in my 5 years in the NFL. So, people can say what they want, and they will say what they want about me and what I've done in my career. But at the end of the day, he's not wrong because he sees it every day, even when I'm not around. We're constant communication, and we are hand in hand in me getting better, and that's what it's been, and we've seen the results. So I'm not surprised by anything he said because he wholeheartedly believes it. I wholeheartedly believe it. There's a lot of factors that go into that, but as far as being a consistent player and every one of the better linemen in the league, I think that's the expectation. That's the expectation. That's my expectation. That's Coach Nagy. That's Ryan's expectation. That's Coach Castillo's expectation. And I try to live up to that every day for them because they took a chance on me and they believed in me, and I'm going to give them everything I got.
Joe Lewis.
Yeah, earlier, Andy talked about being a mentor to Justin Fields. You're in a similar situation as you have younger linemen like Tevin Jenkins and Larry Borum. Have you been asked to take on a leadership role with them or a mentorship role, or have you just initiated being a mentor to them, this being their first year in the NFL?
Yeah, going into year 6 as an older guy, I've had guys before me that took me under their wing, and it's just what you do. It's not about, I'm not going to push this guy aside because I don't want him to get better. I want him to get better. I want him to. We can all eat. It's not a me or him or anybody else, another person. I think everybody is just here trying to get better and have fun with it and make a living for their family. And once you take that approach, it's always about, all right, how do I bring somebody along? How do I make somebody a little better today? Make their existence in this tough league a little better, because it can be unforgiving. It can be, it can be a little brutal. So, just you keep bringing them along and you encourage them and you do it the right way. And you do it the right way, good things happen for everybody.
Justin, good to see you again. You told us last night that one of your greatest strengths was the ability to show up in big moments. I'm curious, as you reflect on your career throughout your entire football journey, what's on the short list for you of those big moments and those big performances that you're really proud of?
Yeah, I would definitely say my 2019 year against the team up north. Of course, that was definitely probably my first, big game of my Ohio State career. And then, of course, this past year playing in the Clemson game and my performance there. So I think, those are two definite highlights of my Ohio State career where there were big moments.
That 2019 game, what do you recall most vividly? What are you most proud of about the way you guys went up there and handled your business?
Just the way, we treat that game. We treat that rivalry. So of course, that's a big rivalry for us. And, just the way, my teammates went out there. And of course, a big play in the game was when I got hurt. And then of course I came back in and threw the touchdown the next play. So just those plays. And of course, how big that game is to Ohio State and just our, our fans and our community.
Thank you.
Kevin Fishbane, The Athletic.
Hey, Justin, what's kind of your plan now to get to know some of your teammates, whether it's Andy Dalton or some of the linemen? Obviously, it's an interesting situation because you're the young guy, you're the rookie, but you're also a quarterback top pick. So how do you kind of go about approaching it? Have you already had some conversations with some of your new teammates?
Yeah, actually, walking around in the facility today, I met a few guys. I met, Tariq Cohen, and I actually met Andy Dalton out in California before my pro day. So he's a great guy, and my plan on to getting to know my teammates is literally just being myself. So it's definitely an easy job for me, and I just can't wait to meet all of them and get to work with them.
Larry Mayer, ChicagoBears.com.
Hey, Justin, what have the last 24 hours been like for you? You wake up yesterday morning not knowing where you're going to be going, who's going to draft you, where you're going to live, and all of a sudden the Bears pick you, they whisk you to Chicago, and you're at Hell Hall. What's it been like?
Yeah, it's definitely been crazy, but I'm blessed. Yesterday was a little bit hectic for for me not really knowing where I'm gonna be, but it's definitely all been a blessing. I really didn't get that much sleep last night. Of course, it was a quick turnaround. I had a flight 6 a.m. this morning, so I just came up here, and I mean, since I've been up here, I've enjoyed every second of it. It's a beautiful place, and I'm excited for it.
Hub Arkush, Pro Football Weekly.
Hey, Justin, I'm one of those Team Up North alum that has to learn how to love one of you guys from down south now. So welcome to town. You're going to love Chicago.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
What can you tell us about what was going through your mind, what you were thinking, what you were feeling when you made the decision to transfer from Georgia to Ohio State?
So basically, an opportunity presented itself, and I had to make a decision for my future. And I'm really not going to get into all of the details, but at the end of the day, my family and I thought it was the best decision to play at Ohio State and make that move, and it of course paid off. So I'm definitely glad I made that decision.
Hey, real quick, Ryan Day just told us that it was your pup that got you through the pandemic last year. I'm just curious what kind of dog you have. What is his or her name?
Yeah, I have a French bulldog, and his name is Uno. So he's definitely a big part of my life, and he's my best friend for sure.
When you meet Tom Thayer, tell him that. Ask him about Ernie.
All right, I will.
Colleen Kane, Chicago Tribune.
Hey, Justin. Obviously, it was made public earlier this week that you were managing epilepsy, and I was wondering if you could just tell us, what it's taken to manage it in your life, and if there was ever a worry if it would affect your football career.
Yeah. So actually, I got diagnosed with it in 9th grade. So basically, it was just I had a seizure in school, and it was crazy because I just woke up in an ambulance. So it was definitely a crazy story for me, but regarding football, and has it had an effect on football? It has had zero effect on football. I haven't missed any practices, any games because of it. And I mean, it's pretty simple for me to manage it. I just have to take 3 to 4 pills a night, every night. So it's nothing crazy. It's kind of a thing that's been there for the past 7 or 8 years. So I'm used to it, and I'm just gonna continue to deal with it, and continue to play the game I love.
Adam Johns, The Athletic.
Hey, Justin, kind of a two-part question. Go back to that transfer. When you went to Columbus, how did you connect with your teammates right away? Like, what did you do? What did you take away from that in terms of becoming a leader on day one there, becoming a starter?
Yeah, of course I didn't have, personal relationships with, most of my teammates there. So what I pretty much did there was, show them how much I wanted to win, how much I wanted to be there. And I did that by, working hard in workouts and weight training, and, coming in first, and, sprint drills and stuff like that. And as time went along, I just, started building personal relationships with, from guys that were freshmen, from guys that were seniors, from guys that were walk-ons. So I think it's, very important to, get to know your teammates and kind of build those personal relationships with them. That way you can connect with them on the highest level.
And then today, when you met the guys at Hallis Hall, I'm curious, as you're walking through the halls, anything strike you, whether it's a picture of Walter Payton or George Hallis's hat? Like, this is a team with a lot of history.
Yeah, I mean, just the tradition here, the history here, the pride, here in Chicago is just unmatched. And, I just love the energy already. And I'm just, glad to be a Bear, and, glad to be a part of this great city and great organization. So I'm excited.
The Rewind Sports60.com.
What's up, Lauren? How are you? We talked about the Bulls, the Black.
reset, rejuvenate. Go to our link right now to restart your life. TheRewindSports60.com. What are you waiting for? Hope to see you soon. The Rewind Sports 60.